All right. First off, happy Pride Month.
Happy
Second
Pride
off,
Month.
your sister's house got destroyed by a tornado.
Also, first off, I want to you said Happy Pride Month to me like I'm gay or something. I am not, which is fine if you are. You just
That was
made-
for the listener.
Oh.
That was for the
I thought
listener.
you
I,
were saying
want that to
to
be
me.
known.
Oh, okay. I was like, I just wanted to clarify.
What are you?
It's
are
okay
you
if you
assuming
are.
I'm not? Are you just putting that label on me that I'm not? You know?
Yeah, fair.
Not. Don't assume. You know.
Yeah, fair.
I take care of myself.
Yeah, exactly. What did you say? Oh, yes.
Second, your sister's house got destroyed by a tornado because we live in the fucking Midwest.
Yeah, so I mean, it's probably gonna kind of dox me the word what it is, but I think like 4 people listen to this, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah,
Bro, 5 people listen to this, and one of them is a dog.
that is fair. Yeah, 5
I was
entities
gonna
listen to this.
Yeah, I was gonna bark, but some people would hate that, and some people would be way too fucking into that.
That's fair. They're like, that's all on their bingo card. Harris barks. Also, that's Harris.
Yeah,
so
not for free. Yeah, I'm Boston, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what was it? May 21st. Oh, it's almost a month.
You don't have to give the date.
Oh well. Who cares? I mean, apparently it made like national news. So.
Oh shit!
Like people or, my girlfriend's from the East Coast. I'll make it vague. And like her sister called her and it was like, "Oh, I saw your boyfriend's hometown on the news that it got destroyed by a tornado." And it's like, "Yep." And I guess destroyed isn't like accurate. It was the south side of town and then like the east side of town as you're like exiting. Oh, you kind of remember. You went there once. Do you remember it at all?
Yeah, I do. You say like east and south. Your town is like a mile by a fucking mile,
it's
dude.
about 2 miles by 2 miles, like wide,
Yeah.
and so, but yeah, so like, yeah, it like literally like targeted my sister's house. I feel like it had a vendetta, like so across the street, like her house was like the first house that got hit in town because like she lived like across the street is out of town, on her side of the street is town. And you could see all the trees down as it went by the lake, and it like went like a straight pass right to her house. So, yeah, so her house got destroyed, but not like some of the houses in town were like literally just like flat, like it was just like the concrete floor, and that was it. At least hers still had like the walls, so a lot of their stuff was still in the house. So they recovered a lot of stuff.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, which is like kind of good because like I had a relative who I guess is like a cousin, but it's like distant cousin, but we know them very well. Like all that was left was like the floor of their like first floor and then like 3 walls of their basement, and like I don't think they recovered any of their stuff. Like it was all gone. I think all they had left was a pool table in the basement, and that was it. So
that's rough.
Yeah, so they're pretty lucky to be able to save most of their stuff, and they had a basement. So, but you know, like it was a close call. So like, I'm trying to remember like where I showed you around town, but like I grew up on the south side of town, and it literally went through that neighborhood. My old house is the only house standing on our block, the block I grew up on. It's like one of the only like 2 or 3 houses, and yeah, it's like messed up, and they're gonna have to like rebuild a lot of it. But the people who lived there who were renting it, and they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna leave," and my dad's like, "Fair, understandable."
Absolutely understandable.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it just like yeah, it went through the south side and came out the east. But like my dad and my brother-in-law are super lucky because they own like the business that he owns is on the south side of town, and there's no basement or anything. It's pretty much all outside, and it hit like half a block north of them, and none of them came home to go to the basement because they're dumb men. And yeah, it literally just went like half a block north, Like, so if it would have came like another
dad and your dad and your brother-in-law almost got killed by toxic masculinity.
No, 100%.
Because if it hit if they hit near them, the debris of the shit where they work would have eviscerated them.
Yeah, I can say it's a scrapyard. So like it's literally like crazy. Like the crazy thing is that so my cousin also works for my dad's business. There is a truck that my brother-in-law had at his house on the edge of town. Half of that truck went through the windshield of my cousin's Bronco that was parked at my dad's business. It's a mile. It's probably like three-quarters of a mile away. Like debris was getting thrown that far. It's not a short distance. No, and like debris from the tornado is getting thrown like 44,000 feet in the air, like higher than what a airplane flies at. So
that is insane. Yeah, that is insane.
It was crazy. Yeah, and then dude, the way you said like toxic masculinity, like dude, the amount of stories of these just dumb dudes who wanted to watch the tornado, like I'm pretty sure like there's so many. There was like two that I know of that. They were like older men, like past 60s, who was watching the tornado out their porch and was like, oh shit, the tornado's coming towards me. They tried to run inside. The tornado hit their house, and like one guy was flung like 3 blocks away. He survived. I don't know how. Holy shit. Like, and then another guy, it was the same thing. He was watching it. He's like 72, so he was too slow to get to his basement because it goes like, they had winds up to 200 miles an hour. And like he got flown a block, but he survived. And like my uncle was watching it. Like his house was like survived, but had to get torn down because it was like so structurally unsound because the tornado moved it off its foundation. He was watching it off his porch, and he ran inside to get to the basement, and like all the windows shattered as he ran through the house.
Yeah, and like I've seen most of the houses in his town. These are not like rinky-dink little houses. Like I saw your sister's house. That is a not big house, but it's not a small little, you know, a startup home.
It was crazy too. Like, do you remember the garage, right? So the garage is on the south side of the house. Her car was parked in the garage. When they got out, her car was on the north side of the house. And the house sets north and south. So the car flew over the top of the house and landed on the other side of the house.
Oh my god.
And it's like, dude, it's so lucky that the car didn't fall on top of the house. You know what I mean? It would have went straight through the basement, you know, like a giant car like that going through. But yeah. But it's just like crazy, like the amount of stories, like people like, so my cousin has a house like on the property that my dad grew up on out in the country. And my cousin wasn't there, so my uncle went to like help my cousin's pregnant wife like get to the basement, make sure she's okay. He ran into the house and ran to the top of the stairs to go into the basement, and the tornado hit the house and threw him down the basement stairs, and there was nothing left of the upstairs of the house. So he's like, yeah, if she would have like locked the door or something, he would be dead because like it was just like seconds away from like getting him, and it like literally pushed him down the stairs, and he like tore something in his shoulder because he fell down the flight of stairs. And it's like,
I mean, he's lucky that that's all that like.
Oh yeah,
that all that happened to him.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's insane.
And then I had another cousin, like the one where it's like their house is like only the 3 basement walls left. She like. They were in the basement, and she has 2 guinea pigs, and she was like holding them in her arms, and one of them like literally got sucked out of her arms, and like she almost got sucked out, and her husband had to like hold her down. But the good news is they found the guinea pig. It was just like going through the rubble as they got out, and I was like, dude, I was so happy.
This sounds like a film.
Oh yeah, but like her her kids are like my age. Like we grew up like. Her kids and I grew up like together and like friends. So like ever since they left, these guinea pigs have been kind of like her new kids. Like she turned one of their old bedrooms, one of the kids' bedrooms, into a room specifically for the guinea pigs. Like they were her babies.
I love to hear it.
I was so happy that it was so dumb, but I'm like, man, I'm so happy that these guinea pigs are okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like crazy stuff like that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else like. Oh, dude, the worst part was so I was at the gym. I was in a different town, and I saw it. I was like bad weather, so I get in the car, and they're like, oh, tornado. Like I'm like an hour and a half away, but they're like, oh, a tornado has been spotted at this park, and I'm like, that's the park across like half a mile from my parents' house. So I called my mom, and I tell them it's coming right at them, and they're like, oh yeah, we're going in the basement, everything is fine. So I'm pulling into my garage at my apartment, and my sister calls me, the one that like her house was destroyed. She apparently butt dialed me, so I got to hear the tornado hit their house.
Oh, I'm sure that was lovely to hear.
It was great. So all I heard was like my nieces screaming and wind, and I'm like, okay. So then like I don't know, like a minute later, my mom calls me, and it's like they're frantic, and they're like trying to run across like the cow pasture between my sister and my parents' house, trying to like get there. But yeah, but everyone was like okay. So of my family, I think 4 people passed away because I didn't have basements. So and it's like a small town, so like I wasn't like close with them or anything, but I know of them. You know what I mean? Like it was like a kid that was like a couple grades lower, like a couple years younger than me. They're like their grandparents. So it's like, yeah, but no, like I don't know if people have seen like the damage of the photos. I might post some when I edit, but it's like, dude, we're so lucky that there wasn't more people hurt, because like people were like in their basement, and then after the tornado hit, they looked up and they were outside. Like it's kind of crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah. So, but yeah, now my sister and my brother-in-law and my nieces and their dog and their kitten that they had for a week when the tornado hit are all now living at my parents' house, which my younger sister lives there too. So there's like, what is that?
It's full in there.
There's like 9 people living in that house, and a dog and a cat. So it's yeah, it was kind of crazy. So yeah,
it's
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just so happy like that there wasn't more, like, it's crazy how much that can devastate a town, and the fact that your family, they lost a lot of their stuff, but they're all okay is insane, like insanely lucky. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Like, and they're like one of the lucky ones of like the people who lost their homes. Like I said, like there's some people like they picked up for like a day, because by the end of like the end of Tuesday when the tornado hit, they're like, we picked up everything that's ours here. Like everything that's on our property isn't ours because it's from someone else. It's like from another house. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any like other big things, like stories or anything, but no, it's just like, yeah, it just like, and the worst part too is like it hit from like the south side and kind of went like all like northeast through town. Like if it would have just like kept going like straight east or something, it would have probably done way less damage, but because it kind of like crossed into town more. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't know how it's gonna be like recovery wise, you know what I mean? There might just be like half the town gone forever, and my dad is like on the city council, and they're like, man, like what do we do? Like they're like repealing a bunch of stuff. Like you weren't supposed to be able to live in city limits in a camper, and my dad's like, we need to like either repeal that or like let people who like lost their homes live on their property in campers if they want to. Like we can't be penalizing people who like lost their homes. We want all these people to come back to the community. And it's like they also like waived like you have to get like a building permit to like build a house, and it costs like $250, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna waive that fee because like we're not gonna make all these people spend more money to like build. We want to have the least amount of barriers for people to rebuild as possible. So kind of crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like a town of like 2,000 now. So And I think it was 153 homes were destroyed, so it might be like way less people now. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's mostly what I've been up to. So, helping clean up with that, and like if I find, I will put some photos of like stuff in the like the YouTube version of this, because like there's like a behind my sister's house was like a county yard. I don't know if people like know what that means, but like at least where we live, like each county has like dudes that go out and fix the roads and mow along the highway and stuff like that. And they had a bunch of guardrails. So there was just guardrails like impaled into the ground, like all over the place. Like having to get like tractors to pull them out because they're so deep into the ground. It was kind of crazy. I have a photo of it. Like my parents' house, nothing wrong with it. Like some shingles gone, but like how close my parents' house was to my sister's house. You kind of remember that, right?
Yeah, there's, I'd say, I don't know, less than a football field away.
Yeah, it's like not super far away, and my parents' house has no damage really. Like shingles missing, and like debris in the yard, but like, yeah, even like right in front of my dad had a bunch of like buildings, where he like stored some of his stuff because he has cows in town, which is kind of weird, but all those buildings are gone. And it's like, that's how close it came. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. But so I don't really have a lot of things that I've been up to. So I don't know what else to talk about in the podcast besides that. But yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. And I guess it's almost been a month since that happened. So kind of crazy how fast time flies. Life comes at you fast.
Yeah, like the winds.
Like the winds, exactly.
Too soon?
No, it's fine. Also, you might hear some noise in the background because my sister had a bearded dragon, but which was luckily at the school that she teaches at, so it was fine. But she has no room to take care of the bearded dragon, so I now have a bearded dragon who likes to just like smash its face against the glass because it doesn't like the poop in its enclosure. So it'll just like smash at the glass, and I'll have to like put it in like a bearded dragon litter box so it can poop, and then I put it back in. So it's a very needy lizard. So
I mean, my big thing is that I moved. That's not a huge thing. I hate moving. My audio might sound different again. I'm in a new room. I'm going to be messing with the audio to see if I can improve it.
Honestly, it sounds like probably the best it has.
Oh, that's good to hear. I've been trying to like not make it sound shit, so
yeah.
For what was it, last month? Or I guess 2 months ago now, I made a rug because I've been seeing people like make their own rugs with like a knitting gun or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that'd be cool, but I bet those things cost an arm and a leg. And if I'm just going to make one, it's not really worth it. So I looked up if they had like places you could go to do it. And there was one in Illinois. So we drove out to Illinois and we did it at this mall. It's called rug tufting. So I went out and did that. And I'm kind of, since it's a very like thick materialed rug, I have it like up against the wall to help noise dampen.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I also have a cat that won't shut the hell up. So you can probably hear her in the background losing her mind.
Fair. Dude, that's the most like I realize we're adults, but that was like the most adult thing, like old person thing I've ever heard you do. You went to Illinois to make a rug. That's
oh yeah, like, had a great time.
Like telling that to like 5 years ago, Harris, he would have been like, "What?"
Yeah, absolutely. But it was fun. If you're interested in rug tufting, it is as fun as it looks. I made the what is it, the Ouroboros from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, nice.
So it's the dragon like swallowing its own tail. I'll send you a photo after this.
Yeah,
or I'll send you a photo and you can put it in the YouTube.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It looks great. So I did that, and then what else? We moved. Oh, I hate moving. It's stressful. Mm-hmm. This is one of the most stressful moves. I've moved. I counted over 20 moves in my entire life.
Dang. Well, I mean, there must have been like a lot of like when you were little, because I was like, I can count like 4 times that I've known that you moved.
Yeah.
That I've helped.
Yes. So my parents were broke. We immigrated here. My parents were broke. We moved like every single year. The longest I ever lived somewhere for a while was in high school. We lived in a duplex, and then I lived there with my mom first, and then my mom moved out of there and my dad moved in there. So I stayed there for even longer, and then
wait, okay. So your mom moved in there, and then your dad, what? She was like, "I'm leaving this house. Do you want it or what?" Because were they divorced at the time?
Oh yeah, my parents divorced when I was like 13, maybe 14. And that's a whole nother saga that we're not getting into.
No, that's the only fair.
At least on this episode.
No, I was just like,
they
it just seemed like a weird thing to happen.
Yeah, so at this point they had both remarried, and my mom had this place. I lived there for 2 years with her, and then I didn't want to move because she was going to move to a different town, and my dad was living in an apartment and was looking for a place to stay, or like looking for a place to move into town. So they just kind of, he moved in, or she moved out, he moved in, and then I lived there for another, I think, 2 years before moving for college. But yeah, I've been through a lot of moves. I hate moving. That is probably why I don't own a lot of stuff, is because I don't like moving a lot of stuff.
Fair.
So,
dude, that's my problem. I have too many knickknacks, and it's just like a hat. It sucks so much to move because I have like all, and like I have stupid amount of Lego sets. So it's just like the worst.
I wish I could have like Lego sets and stuff, but my brain's like, no, dude. Imagine trying to move this. This is gonna be a nightmare. Yeah. Don't buy this.
Yeah,
but
that's about
I'm
right.
sure people aren't. I'm sure our 5 listeners and one good boy is not here for our moving and tornado talk. So let's talk anime. I watched more YuYu Hakusko.
Dude, I had to go back and listen to the last episode to even like remember what we were talking about, and I was like, oh yeah, we talked like 45 minutes about YuYu Hakusko.
Yeah, get ready for some more. If you don't like this show or you don't like anime,
then fuck you.
If you don't like anime, what the fuck are you doing? This is pretty much an anime podcast, and if we're considered an anime podcast, we're the best.
Yeah.
Like, get fucked.
The anime podcast where one of the hosts doesn't watch anime.
Yeah, I mean,
it's great.
We have to have the fresh perspective.
Yeah, exactly. So YuYu Hakuso,
YuYu Hakuso, I got through the Dark Tournament. It still holds up. Yeah. It's still really, really good. I have problems with it, obviously, because I'm me. I have to poke holes in everything I like. But everything I would say is just nitpicking. But the highlights for me are, again, the characters, but the fashion of the characters in the series, especially the female characters, is fantastic. And this is, if you know anything about anime, you know this already, but the guy who makes Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, Yoshihiro Takashi, I hope I got his name right, is married to the woman that made Sailor Moon.
No shit.
So I think when he makes women's fashion, he has to be asking her, because the men's fashion is pretty good. Like it's not bad. It's pretty good. I'd say it's for anime, it's really good fashion. The women's fashion, like when Botan shows up to Earth and has like these big like red leather jacket on, and she shows up with her baseball bat and her like white go-go boots or some shit, I was like, that's a fit and a half. Like the women are designed so well that I have to be like, he's getting assistance from his wife. Like there's no way he's coming up with these designs. They're too good.
Dude,
but if he is, like, you shouldn't have been a mangaka. You should have been a fashion designer. Like he's crazy,
dude. And I like the best what he like. Even like Kuwabara's sister is always like dressed to the nines too, and like it doesn't. She just wears like jeans and stuff, but she always looks like so fancy.
Yeah, she's always wearing like some sort of denim, or she's wearing a long suit, if that makes sense, where like they're fitted to make you look tall, and she's a tall character, but she's always dressed so well for a character that I wouldn't say she's a background character, but she's not like a focal point character.
Yeah, she's only like in like those few episodes of the Dark Tournament, really, that she's like a main person, I think. So
yeah, and she flirts with the main bad guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because he like saves her, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how old these characters are, so I don't know if there's a weird age gap.
Yeah,
but
the main evil like, guy, he looks like he could be like 20, but I think he's like maybe immortal or something. I don't know. There's some like shenanigans with him.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd recommend it if you haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho before, and if you have seen it before and you're wondering if it's still good, the Dark Tournament holds up. I've watched past it. I haven't watched that far past it. I've met the new
like Genkai
the
people.
The new Genkai people, and their designs are 2 of the 3 designs are so lackluster, and one of the designs I was like, that's just a fighting game character. Like I'm not blown away like previous design characters.
Yeah,
they're like where the story is now is that there's the bad guys are trying to dig a tunnel. Yep. And the main characters have to play video games against a child.
Yeah, it's really like some people are like,
it really just loses itself. Yeah, like really badly.
If you stopped watching Yu Yu Hakusho after the Dark Tournament and you're like, this is where it ends, I think you might have a better Yu Yu Hakusho experience. I don't know how you feel about that, but it's like for me,
I agree wholeheartedly.
For me, sometimes like if I think about it, I'm like, yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho ends after the Dark Tournament, and everything after that is like not canon because it's not great. I did like the next arc after that a little bit more, but it's also very like the arc after that is like very short because I think they were supposed to do a lot more, and then they're like, we're done, and then like it's very. The pacing is very bad, but it's a little bit better.
The 3 Kings?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't gotten there yet, but I know of it.
Yeah,
so.
I like it a little bit better than the arc that you're on right now. So.
Okay, that's good that it gets better, because this is kind of just like not even worth putting on in the background.
Yeah, it's just like you go from such a like a high stakes like thing like the Dark Tournament. And then it just like kind of goes back down to earth, and nothing ever feels as big, if you know what I mean. Like everything just like it's like the opposite of like the Dragon Ball problem, where it's like every single like new arc, everyone gets tougher and stronger, and there's higher stakes. It just like the stakes were really like it was like the climax of the show, and now it's like all downhill. There's never like another big climax. So it's just kind of like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah, and I think another huge part is I don't care about these villains.
Yeah,
Like,
that's also
I
true.
didn't like Tagoro, but
he was a good
I was
character, I
interested
think.
in what he was. Yeah, he was pretty fleshed out, but I didn't like him, but I understood him in a way that appealed him to me. Where I was like, well, I got to see how this ends.
Yeah.
But these guys, I couldn't even tell you what they look like. I think one of them is again, a pretty boy with long hair, and one of them's a child. And that's all I can tell you.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you watch Yu Yu Hakusho, I think the first like arc where he's like actually a spirit detective is pretty good. Because I like how
I really like that.
I love the tagline. It's like Yu Yu Hakusho, spirit detective, and it's like, I don't know, he's like a spirit detective for like 20 minutes. And then like he's doing other shit.
Like an episode or two, he's like, this child died in a fire. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, get into the fighting tournament.
And then it's like, fighting tournament. Okay, another fighting tournament.
Yeah, they're like, you like that fighting tournament?
Here's another
Get ready
one.
for this fighting tournament. Yeah.
And yeah.
It improves until it doesn't anymore. So
I tried to watch Hunter x Hunter, which is like another one done by the same guy. And I kind of just got bored with it. Did that show have like the same problem? Like where it like
no,
kind
that
of, like,
show has
dies
the
out?
opposite problem. It has the opposite problem where it starts off so mediocre, and people have told me, "Oh no, that's the point. It's supposed to be like a basic shonen at first, and then it adds wrinkles to it." It's so hard to recommend Hunter x Hunter to people because it starts off so formulaic and so bland that it doesn't matter that it's going to subvert this. It takes so long to get there that I understand why people bounce off of it. And the show, I would describe it as each arc is better than the last, but can you wait through each arc till it gets incredibly good? I think the Hunter exams are pretty good. I think York New City arc is amazing, and then the Chimera Ants, just, it's incredible, but it also takes so many episodes. I think if they did a recut of that show, it would only benefit the show rather than hinder the show. But it's hard to recommend Hunter x Hunter, but if you're looking for a show that keeps getting better, then I recommend it. If you don't want the time investment into a show like that, go watch Dororo. I'm still gonna push that show. It's so good.
Yeah, and if you don't know what that is, watch the first 4 episodes. I think we
I talk about it on all 4 episodes?
I think we had like a part where we talked about it at least in the first 3. It might have not been last episode, but yeah.
All right, well, add another episode to that count because I'm about to. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus. Yeah. No, I just didn't know
so
if,
good.
if the author of Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho had like a problem writing endings or something, or if it was just like a one-off thing. But yeah, I mean, sounds like Yu Yu Hakusho is like the opposite problem. It starts good, and then it gets
peaks
bad.
really early and then just like slowly falls down. Whereas Hunter x Hunter just gets better. I know the current arc that's running in the manga that's been running for forever, people have really mixed feelings on. I haven't gotten to it. I kind of just did the Chimera Ant arc and was like, well, that seems like a perfect place to stop. Let me walk away from this.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be the dark tournament of this show.
Fair. Right. I feel like...
But
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I think that's all I have.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was just like, man, sometimes like series just need to die. You know what I mean? Like, I I think that always the example is like One Piece with like the 1,000 episodes, and like the manga's been going on for like 30 years or whatever. It's like, how can it even be enjoyable anymore? You know what I mean? It just like it never ends. And it's not like it's like Family Guy or The Simpsons where it's like it's always one-off episodes where like the next episode doesn't matter to the other because it's just like a fun thing that's happening. There's like an overarching story. It's like, how do you keep anything straight through 1,200 episodes and like 20 years of, I don't know. I feel like it. I feel like people always say like Breaking Bad. Like they knew when to end. They knew when it needed to end, and they did like 6 seasons. If they wanted to like go the Walking Dead route and do like 14 seasons and like the last 8 nobody cared about, they could have. But like it, shows need to die with dignity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I know like the One Piece thing it's a whole like thing in and of itself. It's kind of formulaic, but like that's what people like about One Piece, and that's totally okay. I tried to like catch up to One Piece. I was reading like 5 chapters a day, and I got up to the Wano arc, and I didn't want to run out of stuff to read, so I let it sit for a while and then just kind of fell off of it. And then by the time I was like, oh, there's like 500 chapters now, I can't do this right now. So I see the appeal of people liking One Piece. It's just kind of not for me. I mean, when you bring up like the no one to be done thing, I mean, maybe there's an anime that's 24 episodes long about a little samurai boy getting his body back, and it ended perfectly. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I think that might be perfect.
Dude, I love Brotherhood so much. I watched the other series first, and like I'm like, how could I even watch that first series? It was so bad compared to like as soon as like they ran out of like the manga material and went on their own, I'm like, okay, so they're Nazis now? Is that what's happening? They're blue-eyed. I thought I said blue-eyed blonde people in 1930s Germany. What are we trying to do here?
Yeah, it got real weird.
But yeah, but Brotherhood's great.
I didn't hate it, but Brotherhood is so much better.
Yeah,
and it's so like it's an Ouroboros. It's like a perfect circle. Like the cycle of hatred, breaking it. If you haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, go watch it. Like it's probably my favorite anime, almost undoubtedly.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I was listening to the last episode, and you said something about trying to watch. Oh my god, I forgot the name of the show.
The Last of Us.
Yes.
I did not watch anymore. I'm so sorry.
Son of a bitch.
I want to. Yeah, it's again. This move has destroyed me physically and mentally.
Fair.
We are recording this on the 20th. This was supposed to come out 5 days ago.
We both kind of
was
forgot.
Entirely my fault.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take blame for this because normally I remind you like a couple of days before we record. This was all me. I was just like, I don't know what day it is.
What year is this?
I don't even know what day. Yeah. So.
Well, damn.
The next thing I want to talk about real quick, see if we can fit it in.
Yeah.
But if you look at my Google Doc, I wrote, "Is Pokemon good again?" Okay. There is a Pokemon roguelike called PokeRogue.
Is it like a real boy?
It's not official. No,
okay.
No. That would require Game Freak to do anything of note. This is a fan-led project. It's 100% free. It's a browser-based game. You can play it on your phone. It is fantastic.
We'll just wait until Nintendo gets a hold of this. They're like, someone's having fun with our IP, making no money? We'll see about that.
Yeah, I almost didn't want to bring it up because I'm like, if I spread this even more, we'll will that get Nintendo on it faster? I look at this as like a temporary thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, go enjoy it while you can. It's a roguelike, so you just like pick a team and see how far you can go. There are, in the classic mode, there's 200 levels. So you know, at first you're only allowed to pick any of the starters. You're given a 10-point team. Each starter is worth 3 points. So you can just pick like one generation of starters, or one from one, two from another, so on and so forth, until you can't put any more Mon on your team. And then as you catch Pokemon in your run, you can now pick those as starters, and they will all have different values. So if you catch a Caterpie, that's a 1 value. So if you start another run, you can now do 3 starters and a Caterpie. And it's just the battling portion of it. And once you defeat a wild Pokemon, you get a reward screen where if you have some money, you can buy certain items that will always be there, or you can pick from a random selection of items that can be from anything from like a berry to a super useful item, or like a full team revive kind of thing. And it's just a matter of luck. And then you have a rival that shows up in certain levels. Every like 30 levels, you'll have a gym battle. And each level is called a floor. And every 10 floors, you will change locations. But every 10th floor will either be a wild boss Pokemon, which means it can have it'll have increased health, but it'll also have like increased chance of rare ability. Sometimes they'll have 2 abilities. So I caught a Arcanine that had Intimidate normally, but its boss passive ability was every time it got hit, it got a speed increase. So I caught that, and then mine in that current run had both those abilities. But once you go into the new run screen, you just get to pick a Growlithe and not an Arcanine, so on and so forth. You also get these things called egg vouchers, and egg vouchers, you open up eggs, which can let you get Mon that are rarer to get or that you haven't seen yet, and then you can start with those. There are legendaries in the game. You can hatch those as well. I have a couple legendaries that I've hatched, and I've done runs with them. It goes to 200. I'm not going to say what the boss of floor 200 is, but it's insane. I have beaten it, and when you beat that, you unlock more modes. There is a challenge mode, and there is a endless mode. In the challenge mode, I'm currently trying to do a Gen 1 only Pokemon run, so that I try to beat floor 200 with only Gen 1 Pokemon. It is not going well. I don't know why I didn't just pick the first 3 starters. I thought I'd be funny and pick like Abra, Shelter, and Weedle.
Goddamn.
Because I'm stupid.
Fair.
It's not a good team.
How long has this game been out?
I think a couple months now.
Okay.
And if you're someone who gets addicted to games, do not pick this game up. It has ruined my life. It has ruined my life. Anytime I wasn't at work or moving, I was playing this game.
Goddamn.
I forget sleep. I didn't need sleep. I was like, okay, but like, what about this next run? What if I get the link cable for my Scyther so I can get a Scizor?
Jesus, dude. Too bad it's like an internet browser based game. Cause like at work, I like for like next week I have to stay in a place that's literally a shed with no internet. And I could just play it there, but the shed has no internet.
Oh, damn. That's really unfortunate.
I just get to sit in a shed for a week. It's great. But dude, I'll play that game. I mean, I've been playing Pokemon Go pretty religiously for the last like week and a half.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But
nice.
Yeah. Do you think I don't know. Nintendo really hates when people use like their IP to make things fun that doesn't not even make them money. Like, do you think they'll gonna like attack this, or do you think it's like a genre of game that they don't really give a shit about? So like, whatever, do whatever you want.
I think they might go after this because it's doing so well. Because I would pay for this game if Nintendo released this and was like, "This is a $30 game." I'd be like, "Okay, here you go.
Fair.
Gimme." But it's free. I've recommended it to so many people and they got addicted.
I mean, I'll try.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, like I'll for sure.
Give it a shot.
I literally tried to log in, but like to play the game, you have to like have an account or something.
Oh, it takes 2 seconds to.
Well,
make
I made
account.
it, and
it's
then
just
it like
your username and the password.
I was just stuck on the loading screen, so I don't know if I broke it or what was happening.
Oh, you have to refresh it all the time. It's
yeah. I didn't know if Papa Nintendo already got a hold of it and try to shut her down or what.
Yeah, but
interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of reinvigorated my enjoyment of Pokemon to the point where I don't know how this happened, but I got invited to a Discord group for a competitive Pokemon thing. I'm not sure what it is. I'll give more details.
How do you not know what it is, but you got invited to it?
It's like competitive battling Pokemon, like Pokemon Showdown.
Okay.
It's like a draft format. That's where my confusion comes in.
Gotcha.
So I will give more information when I.
Do you have to? Is it through Showdown, or do you actually have to catch Pokemon? Because that's like the crappiest thing about doing like.
No, I think it's through Showdown.
Okay.
I think the draft is the team of people.
Oh, I wonder if it's like I don't know.
So I'm a novice at competitive Pokemon. I play Pokemon Pokerogue with a Pokemon weakness chart up the entire time because I cannot be fucking bothered to remember that this Pokemon for whatever this poison Pokemon can't hit this for whatever fucking reason because Nintendo said fuck you, that's why. Like
I'm gonna guess that
this can't hurt
you figured out
this, but it can hurt this.
You figured out that poison has no effect on steel types.
Yeah, but steel is weak to fire, and I have to like come up with all these dumb things to be like, oh, so ground doesn't hurt flying, but rock hurts flying because you would throw a rock at a bird.
Yeah, it would hurt.
But you can't throw the ground at the bird.
And psychic types are weak to things that like people are afraid of, like bugs or the dark.
Yeah.
Or ghosts.
But psychic type is really good against fighting because I don't know, you can
big strong idiot can't understand big brain.
Yeah, but like just punch him in the fucking brain. Yeah, that's fair. What are we doing?
I always like that flying is strong against fighting because it's like a guy's trying to punch a bird.
I think that's hilarious.
I like that image in my mind, like a Machamp trying to punch a bird. It's like, oh yeah, that doesn't really work very well. Interesting.
Yeah, so I got invited to that. I'm kind of excited, but also kind of nervous. Yeah. I don't know. I'm never competitively I've never battled that wasn't like against a computer or a CPU. So we'll see how that goes. It's apparently a Gen 3 Smoke Showdown, so that's the best generation.
Fair.
If you don't think that, catch me outside.
Fair. Yeah, I wonder if it's like a draft where it's like you get like I don't know, like you get like 6 Pokemon and you get to choose one, and then the next person gets like 5 that you didn't choose, and they get to pick one. So then it's just like slowly through time, there's only like 6 or like only 1 Pokemon left, and that's like the last one on your team. You know what I mean?
I think that'd be cool, but from my understanding, it's you get like assigned a rank. So I'm gonna be like super novice.
Yeah.
And each team has to have certain amount of members of like experienced, intermediate, novice, and then you play other novices, which would be cool. I don't know. I'm just gonna give it a shot. If I don't like it, I don't like it. Oh well. But
Yeah.
I'll touch base with that on the next one.
Fair. Cool. Well, I think we have to make this episode short because my girlfriend's just literally sitting in the other room waiting for me to get done. So.
Yeah, totally understandable.
Yeah. So, we'll get an update on. I guess are you going to watch more Yu Yu Hakusho or probably not?
Oh, I'll finish it.
Yeah, we'll get an update on Yu Yu Hakusho.
It's not like a hate watch. I just want that to be clear. I'm not watching it out of spite at this point. I just want to see how it goes and then finish it up and move on to a different show. I don't know what's on my list. That is an anime for live action. I need to finish. I almost said One Piece, The Last of Us, and then. Am I watching anything else? Am I reading anything else? I can't read, so
yeah, probably
no.
not. I mean,
okay. Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
So Dalton let me borrow his big ass comic of Invincible.
3 compendiums worth.
I've only read 1 compendium. After I finish Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm going to at least finish the 2nd compendium.
There we go. And then we'll talk about Invincible. I'll talk about Invincible all day. I love Invincible.
All right. That's what we'll do. That is my promise to you and to the listeners.
Mm-hmm. I will make no promises because I'll be trying to catch crayfish for the next week and try not to kill myself. So, normal people stuff, right?
All right. Yeah. Bring a little presentation about crayfish.
Okay.
Or is it crawfish?
Or
is it
fancy
crawdads?
People say crayfish. So I always just call them crawdads. But in scientific literature, they call them crayfish. Because they're losers and nerds. Am I right, fellas?
Absolutely. What's the scientific name of a crayfish?
Well, each species has a different scientific name. So it just depends on the species.
How many species are there?
Over 600.
Okay, light work. All right, give them all.
No. I think in our state we have 9, so I know those 9. That's about it.
Dope.
Cool.
Any homework / recommendations?
Other people read Invincible, and then you can listen about us talk about Invincible. That's about it.
Oh, you actually had one. Nice. I like how you pulled that out.
Yeah, there you go. People watch Invincible. Or enjoy Invincible, and then we'll talk about it next time. And then you can enjoy Invincible with us. The end.
Dope.
Cool.
My recommendation is a YouTube channel called Hazel. She makes very funny, very enjoyable YouTube videos about anime and other whatnot. She just kind of makes it about whatever. It's very chill. It's very relaxed. I like her presentation style. I've been watching her for a couple of years. I don't know why I haven't already recommended her, but she makes shit about things I don't know, 50% of the things she talks about I really don't give a shit about, and it still entertains me. She'll talk about hentai fucking movies from the 80s and sell it in such a way that I'm like, well, maybe I want to watch this weird tentacle movie.
Fair.
Even knowing full well I will never watch it, but the way she sells it is really, really entertaining. So yeah, go check out the channel Hazel. She also streams sometimes. I don't know. I just watch the VODs when they get uploaded. But yeah, check out Hazel. One of my favorites. Go read Invincible.
All of it.
I mean, you can watch it if you want, but it's not done.
Yeah. And
so
season
go
2
read it.
sucks.
Unfortunately.
Season 2's okay.
But yeah, go read Invincible. Go watch Hazel. Go have a great time. I'm exhausted.